Have you ever stopped to think that not everyone who preaches about God really tells the truth? The Apostle Peter warns us about something extremely serious. People who, instead of leading to the truth, spread lies disguised as doctrine. In this video, we will explore Peter's warning about false teachers and how to identify dangerous heresies that can lead us away from God and salvation. What Peter brings us in 2 Peter 2:1 is a crucial warning. He compares the situation of his time, where false prophets already existed, with the certainty that today and in the future, there will be other false teachers infiltrated within the Christian community. The central point of the verse is that these teachers not only teach lies, but they do so in a covert, subtle way. And this is the danger. Many times, heresies are presented with beautiful words, but hide serious spiritual traps. The expression false teachers here refers to people who have knowledge or appear to have authority, but divert from the truth. The word heresies is also significant. In the original Greek, it means choices or divisions, something that separates and divides. Peter tells us that these false teachers introduce heresies of perdition. In other words, these ideas are not just different opinions, they are deceptions that lead to condemnation. In doing so, they bring a real and profound danger to the faith of Christians, diverting them from the path of salvation. One of the most striking signs of false teachers, according to Peter, is that they deny the Lord who redeemed them. This expression suggests that these teachers reject or distort Christ's own sacrifice on the cross, minimizing the centrality of Jesus and his redemptive work. Denying the Lord who redeemed them is a posture of disobedience and rebellion against the truth of the gospel, showing that, deep down, they choose paths of perdition. This type of teaching puts people's spiritual lives at risk because it exchanges liberating truth for an illusion that imprisons. Peter makes it clear that false teachers introduce their heresies covertly, that is, in a subtle and disguised way. It is not something obvious, but it is often presented with enticing and manipulative words. They mix true concepts with half-truths and falsehoods, making it difficult to see where the error lies. It is like a poison mixed with pure water. It is almost imperceptible but fatal. These false teachings infiltrate people's minds, leading them to believe that they are following the truth, while in reality they are moving further and further away from God. Peter does not mince words when speaking about the fate of false teachers, sudden destruction. What he means by this is that they will bring upon themselves the judgment of God. This destruction is not just something that will happen in the future. Often it is something that begins to happen during life with the moral and spiritual downfall of those who give themselves over to this path. But the central point is that God's judgment will be inevitable, bringing eternal consequences for those who preach and live in deception. Deception brings destruction, both to those who follow these teachers and to the leaders themselves. Peter's warning makes us reflect deeply on the responsibility we have as Christians to seek the truth and be attentive to the teachings we hear. In a world full of information, where truth is often distorted, we need to know the scriptures well and have discernment to distinguish the true from the false. We cannot accept everything we hear just because it comes from an authority figure or is said in a convincing way. Peter calls us to have a critical spirit and to question, always seeking the truth that is found in the Word of God. To avoid being deceived, we need to know how to identify heresies and false teachings. One of the surest ways to do this is to constantly examine the scriptures and check whether the teaching is in accordance with the gospel of Christ. A teaching that denies the divinity of Christ, that distorts the path of salvation, or that places man at the center in the place of God, is a red flag. Another tip is to observe the teacher's character and conduct. If the fruit is bitter, it is likely that the root is also corrupt. Peter gives us powerful and current advice. It is our responsibility to protect our faith and be vigilant against deception. May we seek discernment and wisdom to follow the true gospel of Christ without allowing ourselves to be led astray by doctrines that deviate from the truth. Remember that deception can be attractive, but the truth is liberating. Stay firm in the Word, always paying attention to what is taught, and may your faith always be founded on Christ, the only way, truth, and life.